It's a Tuesday evening. We're hanging out waiting for the new CFP rankings to come out in a couple hours. The first batch we were mostly in agreement with. Of course, Georgia and Miami were in the top four then, and then came the weekend and Georgia lost to Ole Miss. Miami lost to Georgia Tech. The Associated Press rankings, they come out every Sunday, so they reacted this way. If we could show those, we saw that, yeah, Miami is all the way down there now with Georgia outside the top 10. 4 of the top 5 in the AP are from the Big Ten. Randy, what are you expecting? What are you looking forward to seeing the committee do with their batch of rankings tonight?
Well, I believe they'll imitate what's in the top here, but it's a lot of heavy droppage of the losses. With Miami and Georgia going down, there's teams down below. Like you saw in the AP, I think you're going to see a team like Boise State completely drop off the map. I think you're going to see Miami drop down there, but there's not much room for some of those teams to come up.
I think Tennessee will be above Indiana. I think Tennessee will be the 5th ranked team. I think the top 4 is exactly as it is. Tennessee will be there just as a nod to the SEC that we understand that would be 4 of the top 5 teams from the Big Ten. We're not going to let that happen.
Why not?
I'm curious.
If it's deserved.
I just think that they believe that the quality of play in the SEC is such, and it's just an easy thing because it's all going to shake itself out.
Should be, I'd put them in the 3-hole. They have beaten everyone they have faced. They had their toughest test last week versus Michigan's front 7. They passed that test.
You wouldn't call it their most impressive performance.
But they got it done.
And last week,
and you're going to have games where you're tested.
This is the same committee that voted him 8th last week.
And the strength of
I
schedule
understand
is a
that.
factor.
I understand the strength of schedule is a factor. You can only play who they put in front of you.
What do you think
I think Indiana deserves more respect.
I don't know.
Aaron,
What do you think, Aaron?
Where do you like BYU? Do you think they go up or do you think they go down?
I think they go down a little bit. Their strength
Notre
of
Dame
schedule is
go past
33rd. Notre Dame looked impressive in their win. They'll have some opportunities. I'm with you, though, BJ. I think Indiana's not getting as much respect as they deserve. They should certainly be ahead of Penn State.
Yes.
You could argue Tennessee just because of the gauntlet that they've had to go through, but Indiana has that game against Ohio State.
Kent State, yeah.
Well, I'm not trying to compare the strengths of schedule, but Penn State, what's their most impressive?
Another question for you.
I have a question.
Okay, I want your question.
Yeah, if you had Indiana against Alabama or Ole Miss on a neutral field, who are you taking to win?
Indiana right now.
Thank you.
All right.
Indiana.
Then put them up there.
What's your next question? What's your
I'd
next question?
I'd go with the other team.
Okay.
All right, now I want to know, does SMU go ahead of Miami?
I had them ahead of Miami in my rankings.
They do.
I would put SMU ahead of Miami. Based on how they're playing
Based on their one loss
they lost to BYU.
That's right.
But see, here's the thing with Miami. Their one loss is really like 3 or 4 losses, right? It goes ahead and validates all them close wins that they had. And I just think voters are tired. Cam Ward's a great player, but Miami's not a great team.
They're not a complete team. Whereas Indiana's a complete team, didn't have the robust production on offense this last ball game. Who got it done? Defense got it done, and special teams got it done.
I think what we're seeing is a move towards both the ACC and the Big 12 only having one team in.
Right, well, which is where we were last week, 4-4, and then 1-1.
You're an AP voter, right?
I'm an AP voter.
Why are you hating on Indiana?
I'm not hating on
Yes,
Indiana.
you are. He's hating on Indiana, America.
You know, it's funny. I had Indiana higher than most people for a long time.
How high?
I watched I had them.
Who threw your tortilla?
That ain't high enough. Don't bring them up.
That was
Don't bring them Red Raiders up.
Why don't you like
Wasted
corn?
food.
Who did Notre Dame lose to?
Why don't you like corn?
Who did Notre Dame lose to?
Why don't you like
I love corn. I would have had
What's
Iowa
wrong
up
with
there.
corn?
I would have had Iowa higher.
What would Indiana's record
And
be in
Nebraska.
the SEC?
Yeah.
They're not in the SEC.
If I ate better,
guys
and
later.
exercised more, I'd lose weight.
I would take Ole Miss over Indiana
Bye.
on the neutral field.
Goodbye.
We'll be back with our
No,
show
we won't.
after our Maction for an hour, and we'll break
it
down
out.
the new batch of rankings. And
Wrong
BJ,
side of the
you have to
bed,
find your
Brian
Indiana
Jones.
red glasses that